Greetings to one and all. I'm QT Parikh and I'm pursuing my undergrad degree, BTech CSE, at Bennett University. The topic for today's video is radix sort. It is a part of design analysis and algorithm. In this video, we'll be discussing the basics of radix sort, understanding the concept, using an example for the same, and finally end with discussing the time complexity and a final review of this sorting method. Radix sort is an efficient non-comparison based sorting algorithm which can sort a dataset in linear time complexity. Now, a non-comparison based sorting algorithm works on assumptions made on the data that is being processed to reach the output or to sort that array. Radix sort uses another algorithm, namely counting sort, as a subroutine. It basically puts the elements in order by comparing the digits of the numbers. We can say that radix sort is ultimately an extension of counting sort. Now you might ask why we needed to introduce an extension of counting sort when we already had such a huge variety of sorting algorithms available. This can be answered by noticing the range of elements on which we're applying these methods. Counting sort only works for numbers in the range of 1 to n, given that its time complexity remains big O of n, that is constant. Now, if we take numbers in the range of 1 to n square, we'll see that the time complexity of counting sort becomes big O of n log n, and that is equal to the time complexity of any other comparison based sort. So instead of using counting sort, we'd rather use a comparison based sort. To improve that time complexity, we've introduced, as an example, let's say we want to sort this array of 7 integers, each integer value ranging from 0 to 999, and we want to sort this array in an ascending order so that the smallest number comes first. The first step that we need to take in radix sort is sorting the given array using counting sort, and the keys that we're going to use for these will be the last digit in each number. So it's as if using counting sort to sort an array with the values 9, 3, 8, 0, 2, 4, and 5 in this particular case. And with that, the value that we have with the smallest key, which is 0, in this particular case will be the first element in the sorted array, and after that will be the value with the second smallest key, which is 2, and so on. After that, we'll have 323 and then we'll have 944, and this will be followed till we've reached the end of the array. And the key thing to remember here is that counting sort is a stable sorting algorithm. And so the values with the same keys in this example, we don't have any at this step, but you'll notice later that they appear in exactly same order in the sorted array as they do in the original array. And it's really important to use a stable sorting algorithm as a subroutine for radix sort, because if we use an algorithm that's not stable, it just won't work. Now the second step in radix sort is sorting this new array using counting sort again, uh, with the second last digit in each number as the main focus. So it's 1, 1, 2, 4, 6, 5, and 8 respectively. Once we do that, the sorted array will look like this. And we're going to repeat the same procedure with this new array, and this time we're going to use the first digit as the key. And you notice that there are some numbers without any number in that place, so we'll just use 0 as the key for those numbers. Once that's done, the whole array is gonna be sorted, as you can notice here. Now we'll talk about the time complexity of this algorithm. Let's just discuss the basic variables here first. N here stands for the number of elements in the array, which is 7. B here stands for the range of each digit that we've sorted using counting sort, that is from 0 to 9, so B is 10. And D is the number of iterations it took to finally reach the required output, the output we wanted to achieve. It took 3 main iterations, so these 3. here you can notice that the time complexity of counting sort is normally big O of n plus k, where k is the key. But here we'll use b because b is the range, and then we'll multiply this whole thing with d, as this is the number of times we've repeated this process. So we reach the time complexity as big O of d into n plus b. This is still a constant. And now we'll talk about the final review of this whole algorithm. To sum up, we can say that radix sort is one of the most efficient and fastest linear sorting algorithms. It is simple to understand and easy to implement. It normally uses counting sort as a subroutine. Counting sort can only cover numbers in the range of 1 to n in the time complexity of big O of n. If we implement counting sort on the numbers in the range of 1 to n square, then the time complexity becomes big O of n log n, which is similar to the time complexity of any other comparison based sort, and it ultimately defeats the purpose of using a non-comparison sort. So we introduce radix sort here to improve the time complexity, and we can say if we implement radix sort, then we'll achieve a constant time complexity in the above example and normally as well. So it can be said that radix sort can handle larger keys more efficiently as compared to counting sort. Radix sort is almost equally efficient as the best comparison based sorts such as quicksort or merge sort, and worse if keys are much longer than log n. That was all for this video. I'd like to thank you for watching. I hope you've understood this concept. Thank you.